right, now I'm ready. I was getting some last minute things. I did put copies of the legislation that council has proposed here for people to take copies of. So.
Where is that?
Yes. You ready? Sure. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending this emergency press conference. It was brought to my attention this week during a finance committee meeting that council has proposed layoffs across the board for the Village Newburgh Heights administration. And so, as I mentioned, Village Council's Finance Committee, which consists of Michelle Guerriora, Doreen Cray, Steve Moran, all voted to accept a recommendation by Bill Dunman to implement catastrophic layoffs. This entails 6 personnel, 2 firefighters, a police officer, service department employee, and closing the entire housing and building department. These actions would devastate the services provided by the residents of Newburgh Heights and further cripple the village's financial status and our overall community growth. Our seniors, parents, and children, as well as those traveling through Newburgh Heights on a daily basis, will feel this negative as well as unnecessary impact. These members of council who took an oath to uphold the U.S., state, and Constitution as well as the ordinances of the village are putting politics before our people. We have businesses in the process of opening and expanding, redevelopment of a century-old building which has been vacant for 15 years, homes being purchased, infrastructure projects taking place, along with the expansion of First Teeth Golf Course. Yet, as we're entering peak winter season, they are choosing to cancel the village administration operations with no plan to replace these lost services. What does this mean for the village? It means home buyers would not realize their dream of home ownership. It means that leaf pickup and snow removal during winter will not happen. The overall services and community programs for our residents, businesses, and community partners have relied on will no longer be available. I want to be very clear. This corrupt move is not about finances. It's political. The individual and collective attacks by council started before I became mayor and have increased now that we are less than 2 months from Election Day. However, the impact of their political attacks on my administration is now affecting our residents. It's also affecting the lives of the employees who go well and beyond their job to ensure proper and professional services are provided on a regular basis. We are here to serve our local government, take advantage of the clean slate that we received beginning April of 2022, and for me as mayor to move us into a new day. My desire is that council prioritizes this village, put our residents, businesses, community partners, but more importantly, our employees first. Lay off the politics, not our staff. Newburgh Heights, today is one that should not have been. These layoffs do not improve our finances. They only eliminate services that you receive, and it hurts our village. Council has repeatedly refused to accept the adjustments and a balanced budget that my administration has put forth. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times have I balanced this budget as they continue to add unnecessary expenses and expenditures. They also went as far as to, instead of passing and approving a balanced budget, they passed one that added an additional $475,000 in spending, which does not resolve, will not and is not resolved by these impending layoffs. The staff that you see listed on the list, which has been amended from the Finance Committee meeting that was held on Tuesday, now consists of 3 individuals, which is a part-time housing and building inspector, a full-time housing and building inspector, and a full-time laborer in our service department. The revenue that we would save from these layoffs does not even count for a drop in the bucket. Overall, with the part-time house, with the full-time laborer, we are looking at saving $14,000. With the inspectors, we're looking at a little over $60,000, and that's $70,000 total that we will save. But that does not account for the expenses that come along with laying off staff, where you're paying worker compensation, where you're paying out the benefits that they have left over from vacation and leave time. And so at the end of the day, we're not making any savings. We're actually hurting the lives of our employees who do more and beyond what is expected. So again, I implore the Village of Newburgh Heights to show up at the meeting that is scheduled for next Tuesday, the 19th, here at Village Hall in Council Chambers at 7:30. Demand that council lay off the politics and not our staff. Thank you. Are there any questions?
When are the layoffs expected to start?
If they're presenting it for emergency on the 19th, and so it go into effect immediately. So not a 2 weeks notice at all.
And another question, do you know why and I don't know if this would be you or if this is up to council, but why the minutes aren't updated, like, or so you can look online, like the agendas and the minutes, so you can keep up with this? There's nothing since June.
Correct. And so because of how we have been structured, unfortunately, staffing is already at a low, and now they're looking to remove the very crucial part of how we do the work. One of the other things they also proposed was slashing in half the time of our administrator who does the minutes. They have made ridiculous requests for minutes to put in how they feel and what every word that they said, and so that makes it difficult to keep up with. But they also have refused to accept the minutes, so we can't upload the minutes until they've been accepted and passed by council.
And the camera program is still going on, right?
Correct. The program is still going on. We have lost over $1 million in revenue. Now that monies are being redirected through the municipal court, we pay into the state fund. We also lost our local government funding, so there has been a decrease in funding. Any additional questions?
What is the shortfall that your budget, you said, addresses? What is the number that you're able to achieve?
So we ended up with the balanced budget from number 4 that I introduced. We ended up with a revenue a little bit over $20,000, which allows us to continue all our operations. So we removed things such as capital budget projects, property acquisitions. There was a $300,000 line item to acquire property. We withdrew those things because we want to make sure that we're prioritizing, my administration is prioritizing the upkeep in the programs of the village.
Is there a number what the working budget for salaries, what the budget is for employment?
Yes.
What is that number?
Yes. So that is our highest amount that we have in terms of our personnel, is the largest amount, but that accounts for our police department, our fire department, along with the other 6, so service, recreation, those kind of things. And I will point out, it also includes the budget or the salary for council. They have yet to make a recommendation that they forego their own salaries. That would be a start. We can keep people like our inspector here. We can keep people like our service employee. They have refused to give up their salary, but here they are wanting to impact the lives of our employees by laying them off.
You said 5 fire personnel?
So it was 2 firefighters in general, 1 police officer, the entire housing and building department,
Okay.
and then 1 laborer from
How many
service.
firefighters do you have at full staff?
So at full staff, we will have 12. That includes our leadership, and so that will cut it down. So we will be able to run a 3-on-3 man shift, which is the requirement for us to keep our ISO status. Any additional questions? All right. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you all coming out on short notice. So.
Thank you.